It's only 7 days into the new year. WWE is opening the forbidden door. And truth be told, I am at a loss for words. Coming up in this video, WWE has announced that they are opening the forbidden door with Impact Wrestling. I'm going to tell you guys everything you need to know about this potential relationship because there could be more coming. Also, on top of that, Impact Wrestling Hard to Kill is taking place on January 8th, 2022. And there are going to be some slight changes that I think you should know about prior to purchasing the pay-per-view. Also, just a slight little update on Big Swole and AEW. Very interesting stuff. As you guys know, I've been very, very keen on not necessarily talking about it because I don't feel qualified as much to discuss that. But I did want to bring something up just because it has been brought up in the Discord server. So if you guys are new here, go ahead and check out the Discord server. It is completely free. Yeah, it's a really cool place for you to chat with other wrestling fans. All right, guys, Big Swole has responded to the tweet from Tony Khan, and Fightful basically transcribed everything, and it's very awesome that they do this. I wanted to read something specifically it just kind of got my attention a little bit. And, you know, it just kind of makes me think a little bit about AEW and Tony Khan. And obviously there's been a lot of criticism. But basically, one thing that she said was, overall, I'm very disappointed. A person with that pedigree should know how to respond in a way that doesn't come off in the most negative way possible. That right there was one of the biggest things that I took away from this because, you know, Big Swole, I personally thought Big Swole was good. And in fact, if you really go back and look at Big Swole versus Britt Baker, I think that's when Britt Baker really took off. So Tony Khan saying that Big Swole is not a good wrestler, it was just kind of weird to me. And I think he was just trying to justify not re-signing her. It seemed like their split was amicable. Now it is not. And then, of course, AEW was met with criticism because Jade Cargill is very green in the ring, but she won the TBS championship. And then you got conflicting reports as to whether or not Jade Cargill was originally planned as the champion to become the champion, or whether it was a decision that was made trying to get people to forget about this story. Now, with that being said, again, I don't necessarily feel qualified to truly dig deep into this issue, but I do feel comfortable telling people this. Tony Khan needs to stay off Twitter and let his product do the talking. I have no problem in the grand scheme of things of you talking about WWE, but when you're talking about former employees, former wrestlers, when you're talking so much about your product, it just sounds like you're doing it too much and you just need to take a break from it. And I think that would be a good thing. Vince McMahon doesn't even run his own Twitter account. Tony Khan is on his Twitter account too much. That's my personal feeling. Also, Big Swole is not a bad wrestler, so just wanted to point that out. I thought it was pretty clear that Big Swole was a great wrestler when signing with AEW, but just something to keep in mind. All right, guys, AEW is doing great things. Impact is doing great things. Even WWE at times could be doing great things. Impact Wrestling's Hard to Kill, it's going to be changed a little bit. They had to remove a match from the card. This is because the Inspiration, a.k.a. Peyton Royce, and look, guys, let's just be real here, okay? Peyton Royce and, they don't even go by their WWE names anymore. So Jessie McKay and Cassie Lee, they are not going to be there, okay? They tested positive. And Impact Wrestling's in a situation where obviously fans are in attendance. They actually still take the protocols very seriously, so they've canceled the match. However, there's been no replacement made. There are rumors that COVID cases could also impact the rest of the card, but there is no confirmation on that. As of right now, the Inspiration are no longer on the card, which is unfortunate because this would have been a really big deal for them. It would have been their first pay-per-view since they've debuted. Great news, though. Hard to Kill looks very promising, and Impact Wrestling has opened the forbidden door with Ring of Honor. Now, I do want to point out, though, that Impact Wrestling has also opened the forbidden door with WWE. That's right, WWE has officially announced today during SmackDown that Mickie James will be in the Royal Rumble match, and they're actually referring to her as the current Impact Knockouts World Champion. This is crazy, okay? From what I am understanding, from what I am specifically being told, WWE has, and this has always been the truth too with WWE. They've said this. They've always been open for business. Now, I do want to say WWE and Mickie James have had some really weird history, especially considering the drama with her getting the trash bags after her release and everything. But behind all that, or after all of that, right, when you consider those things, the belief is that WWE has always been willing to work with other people if it made sense. And now it seems like WWE and Impact Wrestling make sense. Now, I asked a few people just to get their idea of what we might be able to expect. Well, at Hard to Kill, Mickie James is defending her championship against Deonna Purrazzo. We don't have any spoilers on that, so this is not a spoiler, but there is a possibility that Mickie James will in fact retain the belt. This would be a very interesting choice, but there is also this possibility that Mickie James may even be able to bring the Knockouts Championship belt to the Royal Rumble, which would be a first time for Impact Wrestling. So other than that, there are no other sort of ideas that WWE and Impact may have. However, I am going to throw a suggestion out there. WWE bringing in Mickie James makes sense. They need more women. They need active women. They need women who are talented. Obviously, they've released a lot of talent. But also, most importantly, WWE has been looking like the bad guys lately. And if there's a company that could truly benefit working with WWE, it's Impact Wrestling. Now, my question here is, what is Tony Khan's response to WWE and Impact doing this? Because AEW and Impact no longer have that working relationship. So just keep that in mind. AEW and Impact's relationship went sour, and now WWE seemingly has one with Impact. So just kind of keep in mind, there may not be anything conclusive just yet as far as future plans. However, there is a big possibility that more can be done, and I think that is incredibly important that WWE maintains that relationship with Impact. And me personally, just as a fan, I watch Impact. You guys hear it all the time on this channel. I love Impact, and this to me is awesome. I get it. WWE, you can't rectify those decisions when you send somebody a trash bag filled with your stuff, and then it comes out that's like a normal thing. But nonetheless, you really can't rectify that. But for the sake of pro wrestling fans, this is something that makes WWE look better, especially at a time where WWE just simply hasn't been looking that good. So if I'm being honest, I love it. And I want to know what you guys think. So drop a comment down below. Let me know. And I'll see you guys next time right here on youtube.com/AngoYT.